The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, digging into some fantasy football today. We are doing a draft. Now, if you want to check out the rest of the work, my rankings are in the description of this video and podcast. You know, overall rankings, player profiles, running back, wide receiver. We're going to have more content, especially here in August, focused on fantasy football, along with all the golf that we're doing. But I've actually never done a live draft on this show before. I mean, we've been doing this show for like 10 years, and I've never actually done a draft. So I've entered the Jake Seeley Flex League draft. It's got a bunch of experts in it. And me. So I decided, since I'm barely paying attention to any of this stuff, I might as well try to make this as fun as possible so you can talk through the process of everything that's going on with me. And I decided to bring on a partner to do the draft with me to just make it all that much more fun. His name, Tim Anderson.
Tim Anderson.
It's not my name.
Oh.
You can't play the song anymore either.
No, I can play the song on the audio version. I just can't play it on the video version. And more people listen to the audio version, so it's all good.
Which still shocks me.
How does that shock you?
I don't know. It just seems to me that video content's the wave of the future.
Well, how do you listen to podcasts? Video or audio?
They just download some all automatically on my phone and I listen to them.
So you listen to the audio version?
Yeah, but that's because there's no video version of them.
But there is a video version of all those shows.
No, not most of the ones I'm listening to.
No, I mean, okay, but what about my show?
Oh, I just download and delete. I don't listen.
That's fine, though, but you download it. You don't go click on the video for it.
No. I just download it. People need to go out and give those 4-star reviews. And
5-star reviews, you fucking moron.
Whatever, sorry, 5-star review, and then delete them.
Smash the like button for the video. In the description, after we're all, actually, just give me your favorite sleeper for the year. That's a good way to do it. And unlike Tim, rate the show 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, or if you have Stitcher, go to the desktop version and rate the Pat Mayo Experience audio version. After you subscribe, 5 stars up there as well. So, Tim, we've drawn the 5th pick in this half-point PPR draft. So I'm going to switch over. We're doing this on Fantrax. It's the Snake League, because it just makes it easier for show purposes. Let's see here. Well, we have to draft 18 total players.
Okay,
so just keep that in mind with so many people opting out and we don't know what all the COVID rules are going to be, that it's going to be kind of tricky. But extra bench spots we might have to add extra bench spots into our league this year.
Well, that would be probably impossible because of the nature of draft picks and them being traded in that league.
Well, shockingly enough, I'm the commissioner, so I can make whatever rule I want.
We could have extra bench spots where you can pick up guys after the draft right away and make them empty, I suppose.
Or we can just extend the draft 2 rounds.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. But
yeah, well, you'd be surprised how little I care about how you feel. Anyway, my rankings are up on dknation.com if you want to go check them out. I haven't updated them since July 29th. We were recording this on August 1st, so I have not put in Clyde Edwards-Helaire up the rankings a little bit. I had him at 16. I'm sure he's going to go up with the news that Damian Williams isn't going to be around. But I guess we'll see where he ends up going in this draft. I kind of want to do a draft to figure this out a little bit. And I'm using this random CBS page because it has a list of all the players that have opted in and opted out so far per team, Tim.
yeah, well, I mean, basically you just need to see who on the Patriots is playing. That's really it. And the running back for the Chargers. I think this running back from LSU is going to be, I don't know, the second or third best back in football. I couldn't take him highly enough.
So we have the 5th pick in this draft. Are you thinking that we're going to pick him at number 5?
Quite possibly. I'm inclined to that. I mean, these things are circumstantial. If someone like MT was sitting there, of course we would take him. But if not, I certainly wouldn't be opposed to it. I like him better than, let's say, I don't know, Ezekiel Elliott, for example.
Really? That seems crazy to me, but okay. The tools that I'm using for this is on...
I like to take running backs who are
Shut up,
talented.
I'm trying to go through it. This is already a terrible idea. No wonder we haven't done this before. FTNfantasy.com. This is /air yards. I believe this you have this tool up with you too, right?
I can see everything you're seeing.
Yeah, well, I know that because I'm sharing my screen with you. But did you actually click on the link to see if it works for you?
Yes.
All right, so that works. So on FTN Fantasy and FTNDaily.com, they have a bunch of free tools up there right now. And if you do want to subscribe to their packages, like Radcliffe's projections are all in there. There's a bunch more tools that you can use for both. They're separate sites. So FTN Fantasy, FTN Daily, and FTN Bets, different types of tools. But if you use the promo code MAYO, you can get yourself a discount on that subscription. So like what I'm looking for here is just, this is all last year's stats. So when we kind of go through them, we can check out like target share and air yards, and even this one, I like this one. The RACR is the ratio dividing receiving yards by total air yards. It measures how many receiving yards a player creates for every air yard thrown at him. I think that's actually quite valuable for fantasy. And I like that Radcliffe kind of designed these. When he left PFF, they used to have like yards per route run. I think like some of these are a lot better. But let's jump over to the draft and see what's going on in there. It's not our pick as of yet. There's only the first pick has been made, Tim. Do you know who the first pick was?
I suspect it was Run DMs. It was McCaffrey, right?
Yeah, it was McCaffrey. Adam Azer from CBS took Christian McCaffrey, number 1 overall. Brandon Murchison from ROT ... is up next. Roto Baller. I guess that's what it is. Steve Gardner from USA Today. Jesse Eisenberg from CBS. Then it's us. It's our pick. Then Eric Young from Impact Wrestling. My guy, Eric Young. I think he won one of these leagues like 2 years ago. Bob Lung, Pat Thorman, Joe Dolan, Brandon Funston, Michael Fabiano, Kenneth Cashman from RotoWare. Those are the people drafting in this draft. Guess what I got with me, though? I guess you can't see me. Only the viewers can see me. But I have a giant pot of coffee. That's the way that I like to draft.
Well, I'm inclined to. I mean, I have my weapons of choice too with me, but I'm nothing wrong with coffee.
So, will you get your DCs with you?
I got some DCs. Yeah. So, I mean, my opinion here now that Elliott and Kamara are gone,
we should take Michael Thomas, right?
I agree. We should take MT.
So the first 4 picks. Let's see. Confirmed draft Michael Thomas.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's do it. So the first picks were McCaffrey, Saquon, Zeke, Kamara, then us to Michael Thomas. Who's like the other pick that you would think about right there? Like, is it Dalvin Cook? Is it Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
No, I'm sort of coming around on Hopkins as well.
Okay, I have Hopkins way down in my rankings.
I went for that's interesting. You were super high on him earlier in the year, and I was super low, and now we have done a Texas two-step. I'm getting higher on him, and you're getting lower on him.
So the next 2 picks coming off the board, Derrick Henry to Eric Young. Bob Lung takes Dalvin Cook. The one problem with taking Michael Thomas here, and I agree that is the pick that I would make if we look at my rankings, I have Michael Thomas at, let's see, number 4 overall. So we got a number 5. Big savings there, Tim, for us.
Yeah, and listen, I'm not one of these 0 RB guys for this season. I don't think you necessarily need to play that way, but the circumstances of the draft allowed us to take the best receiver at, I think, a little bit of value. So, which is kind of tough for one end, just because I think there's a lot of really good receivers later on. Like if we could, if we could get like running back, tight end, or something like that in the first 3 rounds, which obviously we can't now that we have a receiver. But then you could have like McLaurin, Chark, Robert Woods, like those type of guys in like rounds 3, 4, and 5, and like you're set. Yeah, but we have 2 flex spots, so we can play around with things. Although I always kind of prefer to play running backs and flex spots. We can certainly play receivers there.
Why would you want to play running, especially in
they get the goal line carries, right?
There's like
I'm old fashioned.
Oh, it's a good thing that you're playing fantasy in 2002. That's nice.
Hey, listen, I've won my fair share of fantasy.
Not really.
Yeah, really.
No, not really. You won our keeper league the first year it came up,
and then 2 years later, and then I made the finals a couple of years ago.
So you haven't
lost to a team that I drafted for a friend who was away.
You haven't won a title in our league in over a decade, is what you're saying.
Whatever.
But you win a lot. But you win a lot of titles.
I win my fair share. Let's see, we're a few picks away here.
Yeah, so we're at the turn now. So the rest of the first round after us, Michael Thomas at 5. Henry, Dalvin Cook, Mixon, Miles Sanders, Julio, Clyde Edwards-Helaire goes to Fabiano at number 11. Then Josh Jacobs, who I think is actually kind of a terrible pick in the first round. Yeah, I agree. In standard leagues, Jacobs and I think Henry would be like the number 2 pick overall. No, I don't think it's that big of a difference. Like realistically, Saquon and Derrick Henry are very similar in terms of what they do, except that Saquon catches potentially up to 70 balls. Yeah. Oh, that's why in a PPR league, he's so much more valuable. Yeah, but that still makes him more valuable in a standard league because he has extra touches.
Sure, I don't disagree. Although I'm sort of cool a bit on Barkley this year, not to the point where I don't like him, but I wouldn't be taking him with the second or third pick. I'd be looking elsewhere.
All right, so what do we got going on here? So Jacobs and Chubb at the turn to Kenneth Cashman, so it's coming back to us. We're up in 7 picks. What do you think?
We could take one of the tight ends.
I mean, if Kelsey's there, we probably take him, right?
Or Kittle. I think they're 6 to 1, half dozen the other. I think they're 1 and 1A.
Really? I see. I think that they are. I think they're 1 and 2. I think Kelsey is a significantly better option. I think Kittle's going to eat for the first 4 weeks of the year, or at least as long as Deebo Samuel is out. But
that might be all we get.
Well, then the league's not going to matter now, is it? Say that. Who do we have left here? So it goes Jacobs, Chubb, Eckler, Kenyon, Drake. Who do we have? I don't want to just punt running back here. That seems like it would be.
No, I don't think you need to punt running back, but I also think running back, there's some flexibility in the joints there too.
Team, I don't want to. Why would I want to search by team? Stupid Fantrax.
Because I only want to draft Patriots.
Who do we have left at running back here? We got Aaron Jones. Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill just go off the board. So we have Aaron Jones. And Fournette just went. I would have actually kind of liked Fournette. Where's the next running back? Gurley. Maybe we can get Gurley in the 3rd round. Your boy Lev Bell.
Well, Bell's value in the 3rd round, but he's not value in the 2nd round.
No, he's a bad pick in the 2nd round, even in the 3rd round.
I agree.
I would like to wait on him if I could. DeAndre Hopkins goes, so it's our pick. So we have Kelsey potentially available. I wish I could figure out position. There we go.
So you're delighted with Kelsey. I mean, Kelsey's better than any of these boys.
I'm just looking at all the running backs that are available. We missed that tier of running back. We might as well just go.
Yeah, but this is PPR. We can grab.
No, I understand that, but I would prefer to have a top end running back. It just appears like all the top end running backs are gone.
No, I was going to say there are no top end running backs left, and I'm not of the opinion that Aaron Jones counts.
Do you want to go Kelsey or do you want to go Godwin or Galladay?
I would prefer to take Kelsey of those 3.
All right, let's draft Kelsey. Catching Kelsey.
Why not?
And if this works out, that I told Jake that the optimal start that you can have to a draft is picking first, getting Christian McCaffrey, and then in a league like this where there are 2 flex spots, that you would follow it up with Kittle and Kelsey if they made it all the way back to the turn.
I don't hate that. I don't imagine that would happen, but
I've seen it happen.
I don't hate it.
I've seen it happen in a couple mock drafts that I've done. Aaron Jones goes the pick right after us, by the way, to Jamie Eisenberg from CBS.
And we're going to pick here in relatively short succession. So now that we have Kelsey, you can make the case to double up with Mahomes here.
That's what I was just kind of thinking. That leaves but I think we have to assess where the running backs are at this point.
But I think any running back we want to take, we might be able to just grab him in 2 picks in 2 rounds from now, right? I think, look at who's there. I think Gurley is a reach at this point. You said Bell is probably a reach at this point.
I think Gurley in the 3rd round is fine. I actually like Todd Gurley this year. Oh, and Todd Gurley's gone. So
well, there you go.
He's not making it to us. So yeah, we're going to have to improvise here. I mean, if Allen Robinson and Galladay are still available, I think those are good picks.
I think Cooper is a perfectly fine pick there too.
Amari Cooper, no chance he's ending up on our team.
Okay, well, right, fair enough. But I think he is that's a solid pick. I don't hate Keenan Allen either, who believes he's the best receiver in football.
Yeah, but I mean, just look at the other receivers who are still available. We have Galladay, Evans, Robinson, Beckham, Juju, DJ Moore, all those guys. Adam Thielen's a better play than Keenan Allen right now.
I mean, I think Evans is, but I am cold about those other guys.
That seems crazy. I have Galladay.
I mean, in comparison, I mean, I like Galladay too. I shouldn't say that because I think the Lions are going to have a really, really, really big year offensively with their talent. So
after us, with our pick in the 2nd round, we took Travis Kelce. After that, it's gone Aaron Jones, Todd Gurley, Chris Godwin, Juju. I am not feeling great about not having a running back yet. So maybe we just have to lean into this no running back. So who are some of the running backs that we could potentially target later on?
Well, I mentioned James White.
Yeah, James White's.
I love him.
Yeah, but that's late. We're not spending a 5th round pick on James White.
No, I agree.
Of the guys
Mostert?
left, Carson, Mostert. No, I'm talking about guys that we can start right away.
Oh well, James Conner,
yeah. So Conner, Carson, and Bell,
and Johnson for that matter.
Nah, how do you? I don't know about that.
I don't know. I think that The Texans are precisely the type of team that will go to the well with them.
All right, so we got the first. So Kittle. So it goes Azer at the turn takes Juju and George Kittle. Then Lamar goes with the next pick.
So we need to make a decision here. Do you want to take Mahomes or do you want to take a receiver?
Or do we take Chris Carson? Because he's not going to be available for us, and he's the best of what's left.
Well, I mean, I'm less panicky about that than you, but
we're going to get to a point where there are no like decent running backs.
I agree. I don't think we're there yet, but
I think we might have to
want to assuage that concern. Grab him then.
But I have Kenny Golladay rated as the better player. Like, let's take a look here. Who's the highest left on my list? Kittle just went. Golladay, I have at number 19. Like, that's who I think.
But you have Gurley one spot behind.
Yeah,
so
Gurley went 10 picks ago.
And you have Eckler, who's 2 picks behind,
who went like 15 picks ago.
I guess you don't have much of a choice here then.
I mean,
you always have a choice, but
so it's our pick. The DJ Moore and Mike Evans just went. I think we take Kenny Golladay.
All right, let's take him then.
You can make the case for Mahomes. We have 22 seconds.
Well, my case is just that we could double up with Kelsey and Mahomes. If Mahomes is healthy, he's going to probably be the NFL MVP, and he's going to probably feed Kelsey a ton. But Kelsey's got injury risks, and do we want to double up our risk? I mean, I think the safe play
doesn't really have that many injury risks.
The safe play is Golladay. The higher end play is Mahomes. And if we're already taking a risk on running back, do we want to double our risks?
I think that let's just keep building the best wide receiver team that we have.
Then let's take Golladay.
We have the best tight end. We have the best receiver. Let's just keep going with this.
Okay, I think that's fair.
All right, so you ramble through what you're going on. I'm going to take my earpiece out because I have to join the Zoom chat that Jake is doing live for this show.
Okay,
can you talk through this? Are you capable of doing this?
I think I can. It's not the first time I've had to talk through things.
All right, you talk through what we're going to do with our 4th round pick.
So after Golladay, Mahomes went right away. So we were certainly on the ball about thinking that Mahomes was in the right spot there. So, we get to this point in the draft where we have 3 ball catchers, 2 receivers, and a tight end.
What's going on?
So we've got to really consider where we're going to play running back here. That really has to be our play.
Stop taking all the
not that we were
this isn't good.
Not that we were designing on having no running backs, because that wasn't the intention, but here we are, a couple of picks afterwards. The running backs, we've got Carson, Bell. They're probably not going to get there by the time we start making picks.
You're not doing a very good job. I'm not.
So we're in Melvin Gordon, who I personally don't have much affinity for. I think that the Broncos offense in general is rather weak. So we have to start considering sort of, I think, high upside running backs, not the conventional ones, assuming that Carson, like I said, Carson and Bell are not available to us when we pick. So
I'm back with you here.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure the people could hear you in the background while I was talking.
Yeah, it was not a whole lot going on in that Zoom room.
Shocking.
Since we have picked, we took Kenny Golladay with our 3rd round pick. Eric Young did take Mahomes right after us. Then Cooper Kupp, James Conner, Melvin Gordon, Chris Carson, Allen Robinson all fly off the board.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was saying when you were gone, is that these top end running backs are almost certainly not going to fall into our clutches. So it becomes a question of, okay, who are the highest upside backs we can take? Because if they were a safe back, they'd already be gone.
It's probably Bell.
It is probably Bell. I don't think he'll be available to us. So,
people don't like Le'Veon Bell. I wouldn't worry too much.
I know that they don't, but I think so. Prove me wrong, kids.
So who do I have? I have Robert Woods as my next highest rated player, and then I have Thielen and McLaurin and Chark. So bad click for me off that one. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It seems like I see Geis is there. I have no particular love for Geis.
I don't mind Geis at all. If we just go by running backs and let's go.
Well, I just think that Washington football team will give the ball to Peterson still quite a bit because they said they were going to.
See, I think that we can get Jordan Howard later. Not that I like Jordan Howard all that much, but I think that
he's the Michael Thomas of 2020, or sorry, the Michael Turner of 2020.
Yeah, that really, at this point, we need some. You talk about like goal line carries and stuff like that. I just think that Miami's going to feed him.
Probably. I don't disagree.
And I know they brought in Breda, but it just seems like wherever he goes, he just ends up with the ball. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, so
no Robert Woods for us.
without rehearsing things, I think Bell I still like Johnson, but Bell or Johnson.
We're up in 5 picks. So since this is only half point, I don't know how we feel about Kareem Hunt. I think Kareem Hunt could be like the good version of like a better version of James White this year.
Possibly, but I think that Browns offense is still profoundly flawed. And we saw that last year, that the whole myth about that being a talent-laden offense just wasn't the case. And I don't see it.
They also
it hasn't gotten any better.
I mean, they've gotten significantly better as they've bolstered their offensive line. I mean, that was their biggest problem last year.
Their O-line has gotten better, but the skill position players are still, Beckham is not what he used to be and is never going to be that good again.
So you're just
Hunt is just a running back, and who cares?
Can you not reverse curse Odell Beckham? I mean, we don't have him on our team.
I got nothing nice to say about him.
Okay. But you're big on Denzel Mims, are you? With his I
think Mims is going to be a star.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
And I can't wait to draft him in our keeper league and have him for a very long time.
You probably have him for a year after he's cut. Keenan Allen just went. Calvin Ridley went. Adam Thielen went. Let's go back to all players and see what's going on here. How do you feel about Kyler Murray? I'm thinking if we still can't end up with a running back, that maybe in the 5th round, take a look at him.
Another person I'm starting to come around on. I was very negative about the Cardinals to start the year, but for whatever reason, I've really cooled on Seattle. I think they're going to be bad this year, and think that it's going to be Arizona who jumps up sort of as a competitor with the Niners and maybe the Rams.
All right, so it's our pick. The last few picks have been Woods, Beckham, Thielen, Ridley, Keenan Allen, David Johnson just went. So that puts us in Le'Veon Bell territory, Chark.
I don't think we have a choice. I think we're handcuffed to having to take Bell.
Do we take Jonathan Taylor Thomas and just hope that he's the starter?
No, I don't think we should be doing that with our first pick for a running back. No.
Or do we just keep doubling down on wide receivers? I mean, we have 2 flex spots.
I get that, but I think we should take one running back here.
Oh, no. Oh, shit. 1 sec. We timed out. Now I have to jump back into this Zoom thing. Yeah. Jake, roll back that pick for me.
Jake's on the phone.
Ah, fuck.
I'll give you time. All right. Jake, roll back.
Sealy.
I was on the air.
Yeah, roll it back.
Yeah, roll up.
Did it just like yesterday's draft? How far am I rolling it back?
Just one pick. I timed out my pick. Thank you. So,
all right, let's take Bell.
All right.
I actually thought that was your strategy.
Not that I love him, but
no, this is a much worse pick.
yeah, it's not ideal, but
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, so now best player on the board, I think, is our next pick.
What'd you say? Sorry.
I think, irrespective of position, best player on the board is the next pick.
Yeah, now that we have a running back, I really don't like that Bell pick.
Now, I'm a gambler. I think AJ Green is the pick.
No, come on now.
I think AJ Green is going to be the comeback player of the year.
Oh, then you should just go bet AJ Green comeback player of the year.
I haven't seen those odds available, but I think it's probably going to happen. He didn't play all out. Now he's got a star quarterback.
If Chark, who just went? Okay, Devontae Parker went. I think that we're looking at Chark or McLaurin for our next pick, or Kyler. Those would be the 3 that I would narrow it down to.
I don't love any of those guys.
That's good.
I like Diggs better than those guys.
Really?
Yeah, I do actually.
Where do I have them? So I have McLaurin, Chark, and then we're getting down. I have them.
My goodness, you really hate Diggs.
I don't really hate Diggs. I have him at number 51. I assume that's
you hate every player.
So I got Kyler up there. I also have DK Metcalf really high. Who I
yeah,
think
something wrong with that.
Awesome. That's the thing about going receiver, like 2 of those receivers where we did, is that it's just a tricky situation trying to build some running backs. We're not really playing 0 running back, but we're almost into that. That is not a strategy that I wanted to take in this draft, but I guess Michael.
No, but we got the best receiver and the best tight end, and I'm not feeling too bad about it.
No, and we can definitely win this way. We have to hit once we fill out the rest of our. That's why I think we have to go best player available and not even really worry about running back at this point. We'll try.
I agree.
We'll try to piece it together with pickups or whatever the hell we can do. The last few picks after we took Le'Veon Bell, it went Jonathan Taylor, Devontae Parker, Cortland Sutton, Devin Singletary, and Tyler Lockett. So Azer at the turn took Singletary and Lockett. So we're
I suppose
up 4 picks.
Hilton. Because you don't like Green. Hilton, I guess I like.
We're going with McLaurin at this pick. If that's so Chark's gone now.
Yeah, we're a couple of picks away here.
I think I got it down to McLaurin or Kyler Murray.
I don't think I would take Murray. That's for sure. If there's between those two, I would side with McLaurin.
I think if Murray is there in the next round, we take him.
I don't know. I think I hate to be this guy to say the most, boilerplate thing, but I do think you can wait on a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to wait on Daniel Jones, let's go for it because he's the guy to take.
Or any number. There's any number of QBs that late you could grab that actually could be quite profitable.
I think that if we wait late, we take Daniel Jones or Cam. Those are our 2 choices.
Sure. I think you could take Phillip Rivers.
I
wouldn't hate it. If you take Rivers and some other guy, you want Cam, I guess. I think the case for Cam is much harder because that offense is so bad.
We don't know that for one thing, and 2,
we do know that. We saw it last year. It was talentless.
Just go look at the guys who were the best quarterbacks in fantasy over like the past 3 years. It's all the running quarterbacks. We have to take a running quarterback.
We don't even know if Cam's going to start.
Shit. That is terrible news. Singletary, Lockett, Chark, Metcalf, McLaurin. So Chark, Metcalf, and McLaurin all go back to back.
We're on the clock.
So we got Hilton,
who you don't mind. You had reasonably high in your ranks.
I do, but I have Kyler the highest rated right now. Oh, we could get David Montgomery in the next round.
Sure.
I don't hate that. Let's take a look at wide receivers, see who's left. I can't believe all of our guys, all of my guys at least, just went. You want to take Hilton? Or do you want to
I would prefer Hilton over the quarterback, yes.
I think
the fact that he's not a fun pick means he's the right pick.
Now let's go with Kyler.
Well, you're controlling the mouse, not me. But that is not a pick I would have made.
We're going with Kyler. I think that our strategy right now has to be get the best players at their potential positions that aren't running back. And with Thomas at receiver, we could potentially have that. With Kelsey at tight end, we could potentially have that. And if Kyler starts running more this year, we could have that at quarterback too.
I'd like to grab a Cardinal then.
Why? What's the difference?
Because it is a value to have the chance to double up when impossible, particularly in a deep league.
Well,
if it makes sense, we could
grab Christian Kirk later on, I suppose.
Sure. Like someone like that. I'm not saying we should reach. We shouldn't. But if it makes sense and it's a tiebreaker thing, we should take a look at a Cardinal.
So David Montgomery went with the pick right after us, so he's not going to make it back to us. T.Y. Hilton goes with the pick right after, and then Mark Andrews goes to Pat Thorman from Establish the Run. So it's going to be us for, not for a bit again. Let's go back. What if Ertz is still out there?
No, I don't love Ertz to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of torn.
There's a reason people keep passing on him, and I would keep passing on him too. We'd have to go real late. I mean, if you love, let's see here, who's available?
Let's just look at some running backs. So we're definitely not drafting Mark Ingram. So
who? Never heard of him.
Do we take the shot on like Cam Akers? Like,
no.
Does this need to be our strategy now? Is try to take the guys who could be number ones?
I mean, I think that is trying to shoot fish in a barrel and trying to get too cute.
Well, that's what we have to do. We have one fucking running back.
Yeah, but I think we can just hit doubles. You mentioned Jordan Howard's out there. I still love James White.
Jordan Howard's not going to go for like another 3 rounds. Like someone like
so, then we don't have to worry about it.
Something like DeAndre Swift or Cam Akers. Like one of these guys could be the lead in their situation. Zach Moss is another one that, if he can actually just be better than Frank Gore was last year and actually score on his red zone carries, like he's going to be pretty valuable.
I'm not fighting any of that. My natural conservatism leads me against that.
Yeah, well, we're not drafting a conservative team here whatsoever.
I'm just saying my instincts are to play it safe.
Why would you ever, especially in a year like this, why would you ever want to play it safe? Like you said, you might not even make it past 4 weeks. You don't know who's going to go. That's the one, I think, big case that you could have for a draft like this over drafting like a running back heavy draft. That if Christian McCaffrey tests positive for COVID and he's out for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or however the hell they're going to handle that, then like Reggie Bonifon is a top 10 guy. And
there you go. I did it. Didn't know who his backup was.
Well, that's the whole thing. Like, it's so much easier to piece together a running back than it is the other positions. Like, if I don't know if
Does that mean handcuffing is a must this year?
I think that we need to get Latavius Murray for sure. Like, he has to be a target for us in a draft like this because if Kamara goes down, he's a legit top 5.
No, fair. I'm just asking whether you think. I mean, I know you're not a fan of handcuffing, but is this a year where you should go out to be a handcuffer?
I mean, I've always been of the idea that you handcuff, not necessarily your own. Oh, Cam Akers is gone. Guess we can't draft him. We're up. No, we're not up. We're up in 5 picks. I think that you should just take whoever the highest. It doesn't need to be your handcuff. It could be anyone's handcuff. But as long as you get a guy who goes into a role that is large, that's the whole thing against. That's why zero RB works and like zero wide receiver doesn't. Because if Michael Thomas gets hurt, it's not like all of a sudden like, oh, just plug Traquan Smith into your lineup and he's going to be the number 1 receiver. It doesn't work that way. With running backs, it kind of does in certain situations.
Yeah, imagine drafting Ted Ginn and saying, okay, he's there in case Thomas goes down.
Ted Ginn's in Chicago now, pal. You got some research to do.
Ted Ginn is in Chicago?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Emmanuel Sanders is on the Saints now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a big fan of Emmanuel Sanders. I think the Niners were foolish to let him go.
Why?
Because without him, I don't think they would have made the Super Bowl last year. He was a huge component of that team down the stretch.
So let's just look at. So you got AJ Green is still the highest rated right now. What are we gonna do?
Who I love. Well, anyway,
I think that he's fine. I don't think that a 6th round pick is what we need to be doing on AJ Green.
okay.
Like, Jarvis is still there. Who do I actually have the highest rated left now? Ugh.
See, this is why I didn't like taking Murray here. I feel like that was a wasted pick.
No,
Got all the quarterback talent around that I would just rather have.
Yeah, but Kyler's gonna be awesome. So you want to have Kyler Murray.
I guess, but I'm looking at QBs who are just as good, if not better.
Like who?
Like Watson, for example.
Watson could be, but without DeAndre Hopkins, this could be a hurting looking team. Oh, we're gonna take your boy Will Fuller V.
Well, I mean, he's a touchdown machine.
Well, it's our pick, and we can't take AJ Green because he just went. We also can't take Kareem Hunt or DeAndre Swift because they're now gone, and so is Hollywood Brown. So what do you want to do?
I'm looking at the best.
Jarvis Landry.
Debo is like the number 1 guy, pretty much.
Well, Debo's like going to be out for 8 weeks, so we're not going to take him. He broke his foot, Tim.
Okay. I don't hate Gallup.
That's too high. I think we just take Jarvis.
I guess.
He was better than Beckham.
Yeah, well, that's not saying much.
That's actually not true. Beckham actually had like a decent year, just way low for his.
Decent, I guess. He had one big game against the Jets when the Jets didn't have anyone healthy. If you take that game away, he actually had a very poor season.
You realize that you don't take the games away, right? Like they play all the games.
No, I know, but I mean, I think that's circumstantial. Beckham's just, I don't know, yesterday's news.
Target percentage. We have Michael Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins. That's my biggest concern about DeAndre Hopkins now, is that 30.5% target percentage that he ended up with in Houston. Like, he's just not going to see that in Arizona.
You don't think?
No, I don't. I think that
they don't have a whole lot there, so it actually, I actually don't think it'll decrease that much.
Oh, what would you like to bet at end of the year target share? For
just looking at who they've got there, I don't know. Christian Kirk has trouble staying healthy. Fitzgerald is 1,000 years old.
Yeah, and
they trade. I don't know. Murray's going to be leaning on. I think anywhere between 28 and 30%. That's about right for Hopkins if he stays healthy.
I would take below 28%. Like last year, he had 150 targets. Like I would expect him to be in the 120 range this year.
I guess I would say a touch higher, but what's 10 more targets? Like, I mean, it's hard to get.
That's 30 more targets.
Yeah, but maybe he's 135 then, or.
Yeah, but down 50.
I don't know. I just think he's going to get a ton of targets. I don't think it's going to be a massive decline.
I think it's going to be a huge decline just because that offense doesn't operate that way. That offense just kind of, they scheme a lot of things open. They like to run a lot. They like to run at a high pace, and they like to take shots downfield.
Yeah, I don't know that we know what that offense does. I think that offense shifted gears halfway through the year out of necessity. I think left to their own devices, they'd like to run it a lot less and throw a lot more. So I'm disinclined to say 1 year taught me what I need to know about what the run and shoot's about.
I just know that they like to spread the ball around. They like to throw to the open man, and that could be Andy Isabella down the field. Like they ran so many 4 wide receiver sets. Like Damiere Byrd had big games for them, even when all of their other receivers were healthy, because he was the man who was just standing wide open. Like that's.
I agree with all of that, but they also have
Hopkins is just going to be wildly inconsistent, I feel.
I have more confidence in what they're going to do with him than you do, but fair enough.
So now we're up in 5 picks.
I still like White. I hate to see him go. I love him. He's just the best fantasy player at the running back position in PPR.
Is he going to be good without Brady? Wasn't part of his fantasy appeal that Tom Brady was just like, yeah, well, we're not going to run the ball all the time. I'm just going to throw it to you 3 yards away.
Why would it be any different? Why would they be taking, in some ways, a step down at quarterback and expect them to use a passing quarterback or running back less? I don't think so.
Well, if they're going to use you would think that they're going to run a lot of play action off with Cam, so he can also potentially roll out. And if that's the case, it's going to be like Damian Harris or Sony Michel. Sony Michel has these arthritic knees that I think you're going to see a lot of Damian Harris. He should go on the list for us of guys to take later on if he's still there.
Sure. I'm fine with that.
So we're looking.
I like Cohen, but I've always liked Cohen. Yeah.
Do we bite the bullet on Jordan Howard or do we wait it out here?
Oh, I think we can be patient enough for one more round.
Let's hope so. That leads us back to receiver.
Who's the best player? The best players. Yeah. Edelman. Yeah.
Do we just
Marv?
We already have Galladay. Do we double up with Marv?
Yeah, maybe we can. I mean, I have said before, I say it again, I think the Lions are a sleeper team to compete for the whole thing this year.
That seems kind of crazy.
If you look at the numbers last year, Stafford was having the best year of any quarterback.
Yeah, he was having the best year, and when he got hurt, they were under 500.
Okay, so they had some bad luck.
They're great. They're fucking.
They had some bad luck, and they're poorly coached.
Well, that didn't change, did it?
But I'm just saying, if he puts up numbers similar to that, that's unlikely to be a 2-3 team when he goes out. I'm just saying, look at the numbers last year. People don't appreciate it because he got hurt in October. Stafford was on his way to having
so
all-time season.
We're on the clock. Yeah, fantasy season, not like a real life season. Marlon Mack, Brendan Cooks, Michael Gallup, Darren Waller, Deshaun Watson have all just been drafted. So we're up. The best available per this is Edelman, Debo. So sweet update for Fantrax. We could take another tight end with Henry or Ingram. Not really.
Meh.
I'm not really on that. We can go with Marv. Or we can take one of those running backs like Jordan Howard, who I think is going to be there. I think we take another receiver.
What's wrong with Edelman?
I'm not rolling with Edelman with Cam. I'd rather have N'Keal Harry.
I don't think N'Keal Harry's even ownable in a league this shallow.
We're definitely taking Harry late too. Then if you don't like him, I say
I don't.
Marvin Jones or Christian Kirk.
Let's take Kirk.
Kirk.
Yeah, like I said, let's take a Cardinal if it makes sense. No, I didn't see enough from Harry last year to think he's going to be all that good. And I think the Patriots made a step down at quarterback. Why am I supposed to think he's going to get better?
Unless Cam is like legitimately hurt, which he doesn't seem to be since he's now passed all of his physicals and everything like that. I don't see why you would think that he's a downgrade from 90-year-old Brady who wasn't good.
Who was a year removed from being the MVP.
Yeah, you kind of said it. A year removed when he wasn't good last year.
No help last season.
You're really big. You're really trying to end Tom Brady's career now. Why didn't you try to do this when he was in New England? Try to say he was the greatest QB ever. Now that he's left,
considering the Patriots' offensive line, even if Newton starts, is he going to finish the year with the amount of hits he's going to take? I don't know. There's a lot of lazy analysis that I have seen that annoys me.
No, you just don't. Say, no.
Newton's going to be the greatest.
You just don't want the Patriots to be good. So you're saying that they're going to be bad, which every time that you do that propels them to a division win.
I don't know that they're going to be bad. I just don't think they're going to be. I think all 4 teams in the AFC East are going to struggle to get to 8 or 9 wins.
Well, there's like one really bad team who just.
I don't know if there are any bad teams.
The Jets are horrendous. Like they're legit bad.
Nobody thinks that except for you. You're just trying to get my goat. Nobody thinks that.
Well, when you look at like
He's won 7 games.
What about all the power rankings that get sent to you and they're like 30th of 32? That doesn't mean that they're good. You know that, right?
People said that last year and they won 7 games. So I'm tired of again. That's lazy analysis though.
Well, you just look at their players. They have bad players. Like they
have very good players. They
should really be tanking to get a real quarterback.
And in some ways, they may have improved themselves on the defensive side of the ball the more I think about it in the last week.
Get rid of Jamal Adams, who you said was the best defensive player in football last year. So you get rid of him, but now they're better, is what you're saying.
I mean, Adams is a marvelous player, and I will say nothing bad about him. But McDougald is a darn good player, and I don't know. He gives them some flexibility to do some stuff. I don't know. I'm kind of excited. Plus, we get the first-round picks from a team that's not going to be any good.
It's tough to say that Seattle is not going to be any good when they've been good every year with Pete Carroll.
I will be cheering against them with all my heart.
I'm sure you will. They'll probably bet Seattle to win the division then. Not you, people out there, if that's what you're doing.
No, They shouldn't.
All right. So since we last picked, we took Christian Kirk. Right after us went a tight end run of Hunter Henry and Evan Ingram. This is the 7th round right now. So at 7-5, we took Christian Kirk. Then Hunter Henry, Evan Ingram, Marvin Jones, J.K. Dobbins, Julian Edelman, and Josh Allen have now all gone. I think we have to bite the bullet and take Howard here. I don't want to.
I was going to just about to say that. Yeah, I think Howard is probably our next pick, which is fine.
Actually, what do you make of this Tampa situation now with Ronald Jones, Keyshawn Vaughn, and now LaShawn McCoy? I don't think that LaShawn McCoy is draftable whatsoever, but I think that he might be on.
I agree. I agree, but it would not shock me if after 4 weeks he has the most fantasy points either.
Yeah, but that might be like 14 fantasy points through 4 games.
Oh, I'm with you. I don't know that I would. So as a result, I would just steer clear. Let that be somebody else's problem.
So I'm going to write down. So Latavius Murray is someone I want to get. Jordan Howard is someone I want to get.
I mean, Pollard would be the same thing, right?
Pollard would be. Just I know that Murray is good in this role. We just saw.
Oh, right. Judy. Put Judy down.
You want Doug Judy?
Jerry Judy's going to be really good.
Doug Judy. We're calling him Doug Judy.
I don't know why.
Wait, you don't like Brooklyn Nine-Nine? What's wrong with you?
I have to say I've watched like one episode and didn't laugh much through it. And I'm someone who loves network TV, so.
We can probably wait on Judy for the moment.
Oh, gee, I forgot about Crowder. Crowder's going to be good, too.
Yeah, I think Crowder's going to be the best Jets receiver.
It's hard to say. If Perriman gets the opportunities,
sucks. I'm sorry.
He could be. I think Perriman's going to be really good too. Now I know. I appreciate that I'm biased, but I think the Jets have the potential to have a bomb squad.
Shit. Well, that's not good.
Well, that may liberate us then to make a best player on the board pick.
Yeah, but now we have no running backs.
Okay, but.
Guy out. James White now gone as well. He did last till the 8th round, though. So you got Geis. What about Philip Lindsay?
Here's to you. Well, I mean, it depends what you think of Melvin Gordon, I suppose.
I don't think a lot of him.
I don't either, but it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what Denver thinks.
True. And they've just come in.
Now, I really like Locke. I think they have a good quarterback there, and someone I trust. And so I don't know that they're going to be running nearly as much as they did even last season. But
so Jordan Howard gone. That leaves Latavius Murray. We might just have backup running backs and have to fucking roll with it. Latavius Murray. Do we take the shot?
But what's wrong with Tevin Coleman?
He sucks.
I don't think that he does.
Well,
I think the risk there is you've got people like Jerick McKinnon, who I think is going to have a nice year too, who could steal spots from him.
You've tried to advocate drafting every Niners running back, and I
like them all. I don't care.
Well, how are they all going to be good in fantasy, Tim?
I don't know how, but it could be like the Tampa receiver situation where everybody's good. I don't know how. Given that their receiving, other than Kittle, I think is really, really quite poor.
But they drafted someone from Notre Dame. I'm shocked you're not all in on Ayuk.
Yeah, well, I'm not a pure blind ideologue.
It's our pick. So
okay.
So Debo, I don't know, Debo. That's really high for Debo in this draft.
So you think that Geis is the play? Did you not say earlier? Because you don't believe in AP at all.
It's not that I don't believe in AP. Is I think we have to kind of roll the dice on someone, and that's someone who, if he is the guy, then he's going to get all the touches.
Well, then you've just made the case for it, haven't you?
Let's take Geis. This one's for you, Don Geis.
Do people get that?
If they're 30 Rock fans, potentially. Season 2 30 Rock. No,
well, that's network TV.
Season 1 30 Rock. That's when Tracy was trying to make the Jefferson movie.
I do like that his dog's name Tracy Senior.
Oh, see, I feel like that came in later seasons. I stopped watching 30 Rock after a while.
Well, some of the jokes got repetitive, like the whole Kenneth being 1,000 years old thing, was stupid the first time, and they just wouldn't let it go.
So,
all right.
So the last round, the 8th round so far goes Jordan Howard, James White, Debo. It's crazy for injured Debo. Carson Wentz, Jamison Crowder, Drew Brees, Sterling Shepard, Darius Geis, Tariq Cohen, the pick after us. So we need to kind of figure out our running back situation here. We have 2 running backs. we have 18 spots on this team, so I think that we still keep hammering wide receiver. Well, the getting's good.
Yeah, I mean, our running back situation is like that GIF of the guy in the house that's burning and says this is fine.
Yeah,
that's where we are.
Le'Veon Bell and Darius guys.
This is fine. That is just when you take the best receiver and best tight end. Those are the consequences of your actions. Now, I don't regret them, but they are what they are.
So you like Judy?
I do like Judy. I think of all the receivers that came out, and I stand by it, I think he's going to be the best of them.
I like Anthony Miller.
I mean, I don't know what to make of Emmanuel Sanders. I think New Orleans was like the worst place he could go.
Yeah, I'm not going to take Emmanuel Sanders here.
I
think Jalen Reagor is super interesting just because I don't know what's going on with any of their other receivers.
Yeah.
Harry.
That's fair enough. I don't like Harry.
I like Harry. I think we can get him late.
Harry!
Marv!
Mims.
We're not taking fucking Mims.
But
I'd rather take suspended for 8 games Antonio Brown, who's actually ranked higher than Mims.
Which
makes
Browns
a lot
doesn't
of
have
sense.
a team and he's suspended.
Yeah, and he still might score more fantasy points.
I like Albert Wilson.
What?
Just as a guy in the deep reserve rounds. I like Albert Wilson. I always have. I'm like Mitt Romney's. No apologies.
You say you're like Mitt Romney? Do you have 8
Yeah,
wives?
it's like that. That's the name of the book he wrote when he ran for president was No Apologies, which like dozens of people purchased. And I was one of them.
Latavius Murray. I guess Alexander Madison would work kind of the same way, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I think that if we have Kyler Murray, I mean, Kenyon Drake could be a house of cards. I think we need to look at Chase Edmonds.
I think we should take Latavius Murray next.
Just to make sure we get him. Zach Moss.
Yeah.
Is like Zach Moss. I just don't know what to make of him, but that could be a lot of touchdowns.
Possibly. If the Bills are good. No, I don't think they are.
Yeah, I think the Bills are overrated.
I think every team in the AFC East is in some ways overrated.
We could take Deion Lewis and hope Barkley gets hurt. Damian Harris.
Or just isn't that good because I'm dubious. Judge Ito.
I don't even know if he's going to be the actual backup. Like it could end up.
Why would he be?
Well, it could be Quadre Olison. Like those.
Of course he could.
Are we going to draft Le'Veon Bell's handcuff, Frank Gore?
Yeah, well, you know what? Frank Gore is what he is.
We're not fucking drafting Frank Gore.
We'll never draft him. But I'm saying, like in DraftKings week 7, I could totally see me picking him as the cheapest player and being on a Millie Maker team winner.
What about the Boone King?
Now that's something people get.
Weird Andy Jankovic. Get
The
on
best
him.
goal line back in football, Bo Scarborough.
Hey, Bo Scarborough, who's now like 9th on the Lions depth chart, but will somehow like lead. Boston,
Which is madness because he's great.
I think Boston Scott could actually get some right. I know everyone's like on Naheem Hines. I think Boston Scott's a better pick. So the last few picks after we took Geis, it went Tariq Cohen and Kerryon Johnson. I'm going to turn off my microphone here, Tim, and I'm going to join the Zoom chat. Once again, we're up in 5 picks. I'll be back. You keep rambling.
Sure. I'll just ramble on here. So in a lot of ways, this is where fantasy drafts are won and lost. I mean, the fun part is taking the guys up top. Everyone knows the names. They score lots of points. But bye weeks happen and injuries happen. And your ability to make good picks in the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th rounds, I think are what set apart good fantasy players from champion fantasy players. And so this is where you have to this is where the research really pays off. You know, a lot of people waste their time, I think, researching 1st and 2nd round players. I think that it's just not a useful endeavor. I think you should be really focusing your time and attention, is what I do. And maybe it will help you too, is I focus my time and attention on these middle tier guys. So yeah, Pat mentioned there are several potential handcuffs. Those are interesting. But if you're looking to still fill out that roster with guys that you're intending to start more often than not, I mentioned my trepidations about Emmanuel Sanders, and they're sincere because, you know, New Orleans is loaded with receiving talent, and Sanders, while a pretty darn good receiver in his own right, just, you know, there were so many mouths to feed. If you're a believer as I am in the Buccaneers, if you were patient enough to wait a quarterback, I think you could click your heels and be delighted to take Tom Brady in the 8th or 9th round. And, Brady and Gronkowski are a cheap QB tight end double up. Probably a pretty reasonable pick, actually. If you did the opposite of what we did and you didn't take a quarterback or a tight end early in the game. So but again, these are the decisions that you have to at least scope out a couple of potential avenues. You can never know for sure. There's no such thing as a perfect draft.
What?
And
No, I completely disagree. We're having
every draft.
I think that we're having a perfect draft.
No, I was saying, and I think this is true, that if you were patient on quarterback and tight end, and you believe, as I do, that Tampa is going to be really good, then a Brady Gronkowski late pick, I actually think is a pretty reasonable way to throw the cards up in the air.
Yeah, I'm way more down on Tampa than you are. But
I know you are.
I think that Gronk as like a bench guy for us, if no one takes him, I think is smart just because he might catch like 20 touchdowns on 20 catches.
Yeah, I mean, I think he is essentially what Jerome Bettis was in his final year at running back.
Also, he no longer has to defend his WWE title, so he might just not get taken out halfway through the game by someone.
A genuine concern.
It was for me, for sure. So the end of the 8th round went Kerryon Johnson, Matt Breida, Darrell Henderson, and then it starts off with Darius Slayton, the first pick of the 9th round here.
Yeah.
No one wants your boy, Eleanor Higbee.
I like Higbee, but again, I think that I like almost all the Rams players. I think people are deluded to think that the Rams are going to be poor.
Hayden Hurst just comes off the board, and that's before Tyler Higbee. I don't like Higbee this year. I think that's high for Hayden Hurst, though.
Yeah.
So 3 picks to us.
I mean, Sanders is a no-doubter.
No, we're not taking Emmanuel Sanders.
It's probably the smart pick.
It's not the smart pick. We'd take potentially the number 2 in New Orleans, who try to run the ball as much as possible now.
Yeah, I think he is pretty decisive with the number 2, but
I don't think that is. How do we know that?
Well, we don't know anything, but it's a presumption, not an assumption.
Well, he's going to be at least 3rd in target share behind Thomas and Kamara.
Okay, but in a prolific offense, I don't really hate that.
Do we think that the Saints is a prolific offense anymore?
We are picking the bones at this point, right?
Not really. There's guys here. They're like prison Mike Williams.
I like Judy. I like Mike Williams. I like Judy.
Still think that we can wait. I would rather just take Latavius Murray and get it over with, so we don't miss it.
Yeah, sure. No, I'm fine with that too. I had mentioned it earlier. That's fine.
Murray.
Prisoned.
It's our pick. All right, we'll take Latavius Murray. Too high, but who cares?
Yeah, I mean, when you go back in October, one thing you'll never think about is whether you reached 2 or 3 rounds too high on somebody that's playing well for you.
Especially in like the 9th round. Like it really doesn't matter at this point.
Like when you took Cargo in the 4th round.
I took him in the 8th round, I think. That was also like 15 years ago.
I don't care. It's still funny to me.
And he was the best player in fantasy that year.
Of course he was.
But he was a reach.
Watching baseball last night and someone brought up Michael Young, and I legit hadn't thought about him in like 10 years.
Oh.
I used to love Michael Young.
Toronto Blue Jays draft pick, Michael Young.
Well, he played every position at one point.
Yeah,
you could plug him in anywhere in the infield.
Yeah, but that's after he was like good though.
Yeah, but even when he was good, he was still way underdrafted.
Can I make a queue? Oh, I can make a queue in this. Oh, so I can put our players into the queue? I didn't even see this queue.
You're big into Q, are you?
Yeah. This entire draft's a conspiracy. It's just this entire draft is just a deep fake. We all know that.
Well, I mean, now I understand why you've been calling things a plandemic for the last little while.
I'm sure this is going to inspire some people in our comment section to be very upset with us.
The fact that we've even brought it up makes them think that we're actually giving a head nod to them.
Ragor, we're going to put in Ragaroni. Oh, CD Lamb just came off the board, so we probably
Ragaroni.
Gronk was just drafted. I think if we want, I think if we want Jerry Jeudy, we have to draft him next.
Sure. I think Robbie Anderson in Carolina too. That's something to consider.
Why the fuck would we draft Robbie Anderson in Carolina? Honestly, give me
Because
the
Bridgewater's. I think Bridgewater's a darn.
Hold on, give me the full on pitch of why Robbie Anderson would be the guy.
I'm 100% in on Bridgewater. Bridgewater has experience with Anderson, and I think Anderson's a good player.
He has experience with Anderson from his 2 preseason games with the Jets.
And an entire training camp. Like, considering the fact he's coming in cold, quarterbacks that are going to have very little time to adjust with people, I think little things like that makes a bigger difference this year than it ever would in a normal season.
I think it was Bill Belichick pointed this out. Good quote from me. Always, let's throw Madison into the queue. Is that they asked him about the lack of preseason games. Is this going to hurt? Is this going to help? He's like, they don't have preseason games in college. Works out fine for them. I thought that was a good point. You can get.
Well, yeah, but those guys aren't pros.
Yeah, you'd think that as pros that they're probably even more prepared to do some of this stuff.
And your biggest games of the season almost always are backloaded in college football when you're at your sharpest.
Not always.
And it sounds strange, games matter more late because the committee care more about late losses than early losses.
Yeah, but that's no different. I mean, it's not going to happen this year, but it's no different than an SEC team or LSU playing USC week 1. You always see one of those big out of conference games week 1.
That's true. Although I am excited for if in a fantasy world where this college season goes off the way it does, to have a traditional college football year with all these crazy interleague games. Go back to the roots.
I don't think that they're going to have college football. If we have professional football, I still think that's 50-50.
I agree.
What incentive would any of these college players have to play unless they were definitely going to the pros?
They'll have to make money off their likenesses starting this year, so there's some cash that they wouldn't otherwise get.
I
and
guess
90%, 95% of college players aren't playing NFL football, so
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So there's an incentive to play because you make money off your likeness.
Yeah, but how much are you actually making? If it's $50, who cares?
I don't know. I would be lying if I said I knew.
We're up in 2 picks. So, guys that have come off the board since we last.
Oh, we got to fill out the roster though, Patrick.
Hey, we have to draft our defense now?
Like Dub, have to fill out that roster.
So since we last picked, it went Mike Williams, Emmanuel Sanders, Preston Williams, McCole Hardman, Zach Moss, CeeDee Lamb, Rob Gronkowski, Jared Cook, Tyler Higbee, Boston Scott, Tevin Coleman, Tony Pollard, Naheem Hines, and Sorny. Michelle, it is our pick. You want to take your guy, Judy?
Yeah, let's do it.
Boom. Doug Judy on our team. Keep scrolling down here to see if there's anyone hidden at the bottom. This is usually the best way to do it on Yahoo or ESPN because there's always some random dude who's just completely buried at the very bottom.
That's always the case. Walt Disley.
Disley?
Well, whatever. Seattle tight end's not a thing.
Gus Bus. Beep, beep. I'm going to throw Alexander Madison gone. That's out of our queue. I'm going to throw DeAndre Washington into our queue.
Washington.
I'm going to throw Darwin Thompson. Who's the other guy there? The fake Damian Williams. He's still active, isn't he? Damian Williams. No, not Damian Williams. I want Daryl Williams. Whatever the... Is he still on the
Maybe
team?
he's no longer active.
I should probably look up KC depth chart. Our lads. See what they're up to these days at the running back position. Kansas City depth chart. Running back, we got
Darwin Thompson, then Elijah McGuire,
Lizzie McGuire, your girl,
then Darrell Williams, and then DeAndre Washington.
I mean, these are unofficial depth charts, but I'm just if Edwards-Helaire goes down, then that is a position we want to be in. I would think we want to be in the business of one of those guys. So we'll check them. Maybe we can just probably pick them up at the time. We're 4 picks away with our pick now. Anthony Miller after we took Judy. So Miller, Madison, Ragor, Ryan, Justin Jefferson have all come off the board.
Alrighty.
getting thin here. Thinner
Yeah,
than-
well, I thought it was getting thin several rounds ago. It's really getting thin now.
I'm going to throw Ruggs into our player pool.
It's hard to know with Ruggs. I mean, I think he's a one-trick pony.
Yeah, but I mean, we're drafting bench receivers now. We're in flex players.
Like Joe Burrow. That's a good backup QB if you were
Why?
ever inclined to draft one.
Maybe we'll.
He's a
take it.
better,
with
just a
18.
better.
There are better. I mean, Daniel Jones is still available.
Yeah, but I would pick. I would not pick Daniel Jones over him.
Well, that's a terrible idea then.
I mean, I think I'm drafting a slightly better Andrew Luck.
I mean, Daniel Jones runs. That's what you want. We don't know if Burrow's going to run in that offense or not. We know Daniel Jones is in his.
Yeah,
So we got Duke Johnson. I'm just looking at running backs here.
yeah.
I would take Chase Edmonds. I think Chase Edmonds was good last year before he got hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. There's no one else there that jumps out at you to love.
I said we can probably get Damian Harris a little bit later. And then Boston Scott's already gone, so cross him off the list. Reagor's gone. Miller's gone. We took Judy. Then we have N'Keal Harry. Do you have any idea of what's going to go on with Antonio Gibson in Washington?
No.
He has dual eligibility, which is nice, but like they might use we have Geis, which kind of handcuffs us there. But like everyone's big on Steve Sims Jr. or Senior, I can't remember now, as like their guy, as their like number 2 receiver. But it could be Gibson. He just might line up out of the backfield. Like he could be like what Kareem Hunt did in Cleveland last year, where they'd run two running back sets, leave Chubb in the backfield, then all of a sudden Kareem Hunt is just playing wide receiver. I could see Gibson playing that role.
Maybe. I'd be lying if I said I was plugged into what the Washingtons were doing very much.
That would be awesome if that was their name this year. The
I
Washington.
think that's what I'm going to call them. I think that's what I'm going to call
Are
them.
they even going to have a name this year?
There's no chance.
No, it's our pick.
Harris,
Oh shit, we just got. No,
Daniel Jones. Whatever. You wanted him anyway, so what's the difference?
we got our pick. Undid, I think.
It did get undid.
So it's our pick. So
You should pick Daniel Jones again.
Now we're gonna take Chase Edmonds.
I'm just to mess with Jake.
Someone did that earlier. Someone drafted.
I noticed that.
So someone got an auto pick, and the pick got undid, and they went back and they did it. So how's our team looking here? We got Kyler, Bell, and Geis, and Michael Thomas, Kenny Galladay, Jarvis Landry, Christian Kirk as our receivers.
There won't be a better receiving core than that.
And Jerry Jeudy. We also have Travis Kelce at tight end and Latavius Murray and now Chase Edmonds. We're going to struggle at running back, but that's okay. I mean,
That's okay because there are fewer of those than receivers.
Yeah, there's only 2 running back spots, and we can capably plug in guys that are decent into our flex spot. I think we're going
And we're rolling with a tight end who is like playing a top 3 or 4 receiver. So
I believe he'd be number 5 I had him at receiver.
there you have it.
If that was
So
going to be the case.
I like our chances. I mean, of course, I like our chances. I wouldn't say I didn't.
Don't say that. Say you don't like our chances, so we can actually be good this year.
I must speak my opinion as I see it.
You were gonna say you have to live your truth because that's what you
I was
do.
not going to say that.
Where's Anthony McFarland? I'm gonna throw him into our queue, just in case something happens. Like James Conner says that he's playing this year, like he's opted in. But I think that there are very few players who are at higher risk than like him and Mark Andrews this year as it comes to like keeping themselves safe. Like I think that's something that you have to kind of plan for, don't you?
Sure. I have no objection to that type of thinking. I think, yeah, in any type of approach that could result in players having particular risks, I think you have to. There's a lot of people for a lot of time in fantasy who just like to shrug off risks and injury concerns and all that stuff, and I think this is a year you shouldn't do that.
Well, it's going to be kind of, I say if it's like actual like injury stuff, I'd say like lean into it a little bit this year. Like the Will Fullers of the world, move them up your draft rankings, guys that are like perpetually hurt, because we don't know what the season is going to look like. You might as well roll the dice on those guys. But someone like Mark Andrews who has diabetes, which is not great, or James Conner who is recovering from cancer, like that could
Of
just
course.
be, like if I don't know if let's say Jalen Samuels ends up getting COVID at some point, he might isolate for 2 weeks and come back. Again, I still have no idea how any of this works in terms of their protocol. But if someone like
neither do they.
But if someone like Connors or Andrews gets it, like they're at very high risk. Like I really hope they don't get it, but if they do, like they could just be done.
For sure. And in fact, if they got it, they probably should not play the rest of the season.
Exactly.
Watkins. Right.
Well, looks like we can't have and Brashad Perriman, your guy.
Oh, God. These are all players I love.
So after we took Chase Edmonds, it went Duke Johnson, Henry Ruggs, N'Keal Harry, Deshaun Jackson, Matthew Stafford, Austin Hooper, Brashad Perriman, Sammy Watkins.
I promised myself I'd be more interested in younger players this year, but I found I'm not drawn to them.
So what you're saying is that your draft this year is going to be like every single one of your drafts with the same guys for the past 10 years?
Listen, I love names.
You do love a name. That is true.
People that I know, people that I can rely on.
Oh, Tom Brady comes off the board. Pick round 12.
That's about right.
There's a lot of good Sticky Gesicki. Should we take another tight end?
Not if it doesn't make sense. I don't see it.
I mean, Fant is still there. I guess we have Judy. We can pass on him. We have the Hawk.
You love John Smith.
I think John Smith is pretty good.
I know you like him.
Like I think that he could be a potential flex play for us.
I'm not making it up. I mean, I like the Ebrontosaurus too, but
you like Ebron in Pittsburgh?
Just because I like the name.
Oh, I don't know why I clicked on that. Oh, Hawkinson now gone, Cam Newton gone, Ben Roethlisberger gone. We're picking next.
Notice how Rudolph has a lot of points more than the people around him, but he's still below them because people don't understand how good he is.
Oh, because you could draft Big Irv this year in year 2. That's a great looking situation for him.
Big Irv.
I love Big Irv.
Herndon, too, could be an interesting play. I think Herndon's a really good player, and he didn't get to play last year. But the year before, he was playing great, and he's in a pretty good spot there.
The Silver Spooner, Chris Herndon the fourth.
Silver Spooner.
Oh, hello, I'm Chris Herndon. I think we take Damian Harris just to kind of pile out. Like, there are still a ton of receivers that we can kind of go to.
I agree.
So get your boy. Oh, we can even take 90s teen sensation, Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, I wonder if the Raiders will be as insta in Las Vegas as they were in Oakland.
So Noah Fant is now gone. Yeah, let's take Damian Harris.
Sure.
All right, so now we have like a bunch of loser running backs that hopefully they can morph into something. We should probably go scout some more.
Loser running backs.
Well, they are. They're guys who like don't play. It's fine. Aaron Rodgers still sticking around in this draft.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. He is what people don't realize Cam Newton is yet, which is that he's no good.
Oh, man, you're just reverse. Your hatred for Cam Newton didn't really... You get him out of Carolina, you still hate his guts.
Well, he'll struggle in New England where there won't be any fans for him to be seen giving the ball to.
That's sad. He always made those kids' day. Why do you...
Oh, yeah. He definitely wasn't doing it for his own glorification. You can be sure of that.
You're anti-Cam Newton bias. Not a good look on you, pal.
It is consistent.
It is very consistent, but you're big on Sam Darnold, who now has to wear a bra because his boobs are too big?
Oh, he wasn't the only one on the team wearing them. I think a lot of them are wearing them.
So that's the Jets' new thing.
They're for stability.
Jets, everyone on the Jets has spina bifida, is what you're saying. They need posture correction.
Yeah, you know better than a professional NFL training group what players should be wearing in mini camps.
Well, how come no other team is wearing them? Why is it the Jets, who we know have a crack whiz medical staff, Tim?
I think that I don't know, but I'm not. They're not braziers.
Wait, did our pick get rolled back? What happened here?
Why did 4 picks get rolled back?
I don't know.
We were pick at 8, so yeah, our pick did get rolled back. So because Noah Fant expired, and so whoever took Fant didn't want him.
Oh, okay. So now we have to go back and take Harris again, unless Eric Young takes Harris in our spot. Oh, he took Curtis Samuel. There we go.
Eric.
Now we have Damian Harris again. Daniel Jones still just kicking out there. That's surprising to me. That someone would take
Not to me.
Like that someone would take Tom Brady over Daniel Jones. That seems crazy.
I would without thinking.
Exactly, because you didn't think about it. If you thought about it, you'd say, "Huh, one of these is a really good fantasy player. The other one, not so much." One of them you're shooting with, maybe he could be a low end quarterback one, and the other way you're looking at it is I have this year's Josh Allen.
You know what my position is. I picked Tampa to win the Super Bowl.
Another good reason to fade Tampa Bay if you wanted to.
I'm as right as I'm wrong about these things.
You're really not. You have around a 3% hit rate.
I think this would be like my major league career.
The fact that you think that you could get a hit one of every 20.
If there are Marlin scouts out there, I will come play for you.
Tim, you barely hit 100 in slow pitch co-ed softball.
Imagine if the Marlins called up and said, you know what, we could use the publicity. You come down, come to the show, be a hitter for us.
So what you're saying is that the Marlins, because they're COVID cursed already, that if they brought in the Ander curse, that I could really level them out?
I didn't say that. But now that there's this DH in the National League for 1 year, come make me a DH. I'll do it for as long as they want. Be great for the show.
It would be really good for the show. I will not deny that.
And if my first at bat, I knock it into the outfield and get on base.
There is no. I don't even think you could make contact over like 500 at bats, let alone get. You're like again in like slow pitch, you can't hit it to the outfield. What do you think you're going to do against a major league pitcher? Also,
slap it the other way.
Oh yeah, sure. Also, in softball, which you play, the bases are 60 feet apart. These bases are 90 feet apart. You're going to be like passing out halfway to first base.
I only have to get there once.
Why? You said you get a hit one of every 20 at bats.
But if it's my first at bat, I'll just retire. Go in the books as a perfect batting average.
I would be curious to see that. I haven't like thrown a baseball now in like 5 years, but give me a week to warm up my arm to see if you could get a hit off me when 20 at bats.
Well, a friend of ours that has pitched hard balls to me in the past, and he throws a lot of junk, and I was able to make contact.
Yeah, he's trying to let you hit it.
I don't know that that's true.
He's giving you batting practice, Tim. And he's not actually pitching. He's lobbing it over the plate for you to hit it. He's not actually trying to strike you out.
He's trying to put backspin on it and knuck it.
Yeah, he's trying to throw like fake knuckleballs at you.
Yes.
Against me, how many times do you think you would, if we had 20 at-bats, like a full round of at-bats, with me pitching, I don't think I could crack 70 anymore on the gun, being an old man with a decrepit arm and a decrepit back. How many times do you think you would strike out against me?
10.
So you think you would strike out against me in half of your at-bats, but you think you would get a hit in the major leagues in one of every 20 at-bats?
In time.
What the fuck does that mean, in time?
In time.
Like they're going to give you a 30-year career in order to do this? Like you're going to be 60 out there trying to hit?
That would be, well, it could be like Bryson if I'm going to live to 145 and I have all the time in the world.
Your lifestyle does not really equip you to live to 140, Tim. I'm sorry to tell you.
Neither does his.
He's a very healthy individual.
I don't think that he is, actually. But anyway.
I mean, if there's one person who knows about health, it's definitely you, right?
Well, I mean, the amount of red meat that he seems to devour, I don't think is all that good for his cardiovascular health. If your goal is to live to be 140.
It's our pick.
You
want to take Fan?
I mean, no, but if you want to, I suppose.
Well, who would you want to take here?
I think
we could take Pittman and just hope he's the number 2.
Yeah, sure. I certainly would rather him than Fant.
Well, what do you have against Noah Fant? That's a really good comeback to that one.
Well, I mean, you asked, that's my default. I mean, I like Robbie Anderson too, but you don't.
Robbie Anderson, the third receiver in the Carolina offense. Yeah, he's great.
Maybe. Could be number 2.
And Curtis Samuel already went. Curtis Samuel went like the last round.
And I don't like Curtis Samuel.
And he's the number 2.
Maybe. I think that's a debatable point.
And I know we just drafted a Colts receiver, but we can throw Paris Campbell down on the list. Oh, your boy T. Higgins.
I like John Ross better than I like him.
I do like John Ross better than I like him too.
JR.
Gio Bernard's not a terrible idea. Perry Campbell just went. He is smoking his long cigarette, no longer in the queue. Just back-to-back-to-back Colts. So since we took Harris, it went Jarwin, Renfro, Jonnu Smith, Joshua Kelly, Brandon Ayuka.
Who could be okay.
You just said you didn't like him like 20 minutes
I didn't love him, but I think he'd be okay.
Aaron Rodgers, Antonio Gibson, Michael Pittman to us, Perry Campbell, Jack Doyle, and then DeAndre Washington. Pat Thorman. Good looking out for you, Pat Thorman. You took the guy from our queue.
Washington. I watched the JFK video yesterday.
Really?
First time in years.
Oh, I like Cobb as well. I think
Still
Cobb
holds up.
I think Cobb in...
Oh, this is right down my alley, Randall Cobb.
Yeah, as the number 3 with 2 injury-prone guys in front of him. He could be like he could be the last man standing in Houston. He has the key components to the Houston offense besides Deshaun Watson are Brandon Cooks, Will Fuller, and David Johnson. Not like beacons of health by any means.
Quite the opposite.
So we're into round 13 right now, about to go into round 14. I'm going to chuck Dion Lewis into he is the backup for the Giants. That's, I think, worth with the way that our running back strategy has worked out. We're going to have to luck into one of these guys.
Oh, we don't have to, but we hope we do.
I mean, I think that we have to if we want to win.
I'm saying have to is it's not inevitable.
No, but in order for us to win, we will have to luck into one of these guys.
You told me to say Negatron things about the team, and then I do, and then you try to make it look rosy.
Yeah, because you can't activate the Ender Curse if you know that you're doing it. How do you not know the rules of this yet? It's your thing.
Oh, Jarek.
Steve Sims Jr.
It's not my thing. You people go on about saying, it only applies on Sundays, and then it doesn't apply only on Sundays.
Yeah, because it applies all the time.
Well, it hasn't been applying to this very recently.
You were going to say this golf season because you haven't made a pick in 2 weeks. But
I made a pick.
No, I mean, you've been cursing people in tournament.
Yeah, well, not intentionally.
But you have been.
This Robert McIntyre fella, I'm all on board with him.
Yeah, he is the Scottish version of you.
I don't know that I agree with that.
He's a big man, and he's a lefty, and he's got real pale skin who has to wear SPF 75.
Well, you should be wearing SPF 70. It's dangerous to wear anything lower.
But then you don't get a sweet tan like I got.
I have probably a better tan than you.
Oh, I would highly doubt that.
Well, you can highly doubt it, but I'm very tanned.
You're not very tanned. All you do is burn for one thing, and you wear way too much sunscreen to get a nice tan. And I'm outside more than you are.
I'm outside almost every day.
Yeah. What do you think I do with the kids, Tim? Do you think I lock them in a pen? I lock them in the closet and we just stay inside all day?
Well, I assume you have a parasol of some sort.
What am I, Princess Peach?
No, but no, but
I walk around with the kids and I have a parasol with me.
I would.
Yeah, because you can't handle the sun.
No, this is all about you can't handle the sun. Oh, you're afraid of people. Oh, you don't like to go anywhere.
Well, this is all true. These are all true facts about you.
No, they're not.
Let's take a look at the QB situation. Maybe we do take a... Oh, Baker. We take the Cuz?
We are... Oh, all right. No, I don't want the Cuz or Baker. I like Burrow or Goff.
We're not taking Goff. Burrow,
I know you don't like.
Burrow, I can see.
I mentioned Rivers before. I got no objection to him.
I want to take a quarterback who runs, and maybe Burrow runs. So maybe we
Super
can
Sam?
Sam Darnold? He fucking sucks. I'd take someone's backup before taking him. I'd take Fitzpatrick over him.
What lock?
Tyrod? Oh, we'll take Haskins.
Or Tyrod. Tyrod runs too.
Yeah, we'll take Haskins. Haskins is great.
Sure. Let's get as many Washingtons on this team as possible.
That's what we got to do. We have to roll the dice. We're zigging where everyone else is zagging.
Yeah.
Backup tight end in a league this deep with this many spots. We'll take your boy Herndon. How about that?
Hooray!
Oh, we should look at a DST.
Who are...
Put Pittsburgh in the queue.
No, we should play the Chargers. I've been told in week 1 the Chargers are going to win 28-0. from a reliable source.
Oh, they're playing the Bengals week 1, aren't they? That's actually, I mean, I like the Chargers D this year. They're going to get after the quarterback. I'll throw them in the queue.
I have been told.
Let's see. We're picking in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks here. So
56.
Since we last jumped in, like I said, Pat Thurman took DeAndre Washington. I think that's a really good pick. Joe Dolan took Raquel Armstead. I have him as a last round keeper in our keeper league, Tim. I have to keep him in the last round.
I haven't even looked at my keepers, but I think I have a really good team this year.
The one problem with Armstead is that they continue to use Chris Thompson now that he's been brought in. That's not great news. Daniel Jones, Justin Jackson, Robbie Andercust, Ryan Tannehill, San Francisco D, although that was a
undone pick.
That got rolled back for Steven Sims Jr. Noah Font now drafted as well. So we're up in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks here.
Cobb, the next pick.
Yeah, let's take Randall Cobb with the next pick. I totally forgot about him, but yes, he's in our queue. Let's take him.
Yeah, you love Q.
You already made that joke. So I think if we're going to go with backup running backs, Anthony McFarland, Dion Lewis should be the two that we're looking at this point, I think.
Sure.
Or Gio.
I mean, I said Gio, but
I mean, we're taking backup running backs here. What do you want?
I know, but Gio seems, I mean, I'm going to say this and probably be wrong, but Gio seems like he's quite old to me.
What is he?
Maybe he's like 24 and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but I feel like he's like 31.
I would say he's 28 would be my guess. 28. Boom. Nailed it. Sometimes you're good at this stuff, Tim, when you're me.
Yeah, I apologize for all my shortcomings.
But he's a backup running back. Like, we've seen him. The biggest thing you want to project out is what does his role look like in this offense if something happens to the starter. And we've seen starters go down in Cincinnati in the past. And what has happened? Gio Bernard comes in and plays 2 games before he gets hurt too, but he gets all the touches.
Yep.
Pat Thurman's having a good draft. He just took James Washington.
No, see, I don't like that pick.
Why?
You hate
it as his 14th round pick?
I just don't like him as a player. I don't think Pittsburgh has much in the way of a hope this season. And I don't think any of their players are going to do much.
Let's see. Oh, T.
Like you talk about a team that could be the team that is a sleeper to pick first overall, Steelers.
I mean, if Ben is even like 80% Ben, they should be fine.
I don't even think that matters.
Let's see. Our pick, we're taking Randall Cobb.
Yeah.
Boom. Randall Cobb. Drafted. Welcome to the team, pal.
I'll coach him up.
So we're in the 14th round. Then we got the 15th round. We'll pick a defense. We'll take your
It says
boy.
we have 3 reserve spots available.
What's that?
It says we have a couple more reserve spots available.
Yeah. 15th round, 16th round, 17th round, 18th round. So we have 4 spots left because we have our defense to fill out.
Yeah, right.
Was that confusing to you?
No, just you mentioned the defense. I was like, we're really going to take one now?
No, but I'm just saying that's a spot by the rules of the draft. We have to draft.
Oh, yeah. No, of course.
Oh, Jared Goff coming off the board.
Not a terrible pick. Guy who 2 year removed from going to the Super Bowl and still has a ton of offensive talent around him. I would not be surprised to see him thrive. He's first overall pick after all, you know.
I think the Rams are going to come last in that division.
I think Seattle is.
That seems like such a weird take.
They're just not good.
They have the best quarterback. That helps.
Listen, I think that they're decisively 4th, and if Wilson gets hurt, there's another team that could be the first overall pick.
Sure, yes. If Wilson gets hurt, they're not going to be good. If they lose their best player and one of the best quarterbacks in the league, they will not be good. I agree with
And they've had, listen, their failure is my success. So I need this to work out for me.
Again, you rooting against Seattle is only going to make them better.
It's like for the next 2 years, I have 2 teams to cheer for. Whoever's playing the Seahawks and the Jets.
Oh, Baker Mayfield, drafted.
Never been in this situation before.
What, where you get to cheer against teams?
Well, I mean, I cheer against teams all the time, but to have a dedicated team I know for the next 2 years that I need to see fail.
Man, these people take way too long with their picks.
Yeah, I don't quite understand, particularly this late. Just take a stab. You know, there's, as Jake Delhomme used to say, analysis paralysis will get you.
Yeah, the last time, I haven't played in this league in 3 years, I think, because Jake usually hosts this in like Washington or New York or something like that at the Sirius Studios. And every year my draft gets made fun of. But in this league, I have one come second and come second. I did one of the drafts when I was at a wedding one time from my phone, and my wife was yelling at me the entire time. Too much groupthink in a league like this, Tim. You need to have
that always happens. That is one of the vicissitudes of fantasy experts, is that everybody tries to group think, and then once decisions are made, you can't break away from them because you're afraid of someone mocking you.
Oh, that's actually a good pick. These guys just took Adrian Peterson in the 15th round. I totally forgot he was still on the board.
Yeah, that's a perfectly fine pick.
Yeah, but he's like the type of guy that like we should be targeting. Do you want to take Herndon with this pick?
Yeah, I guess we do need to take another tight end here.
I mean,
so
we should probably keep taking running backs. Like, should we take Anthony McFarland?
We've been taking running backs now.
Yeah, we still only have 4. And part of our strategy is to pile up backups and hope someone gets hurt. So the more, the merrier.
Well, then take Dion Lewis then.
I think I would go with Anthony McFarland first.
All right, we'll take him then. That's fine.
But, I mean, I could see Herndon coming off the board soon.
Well, then we'll draft another tight end.
Okay. You're not, like, all in on him?
No, it's this. There's no such thing as being all in on somebody in the 15th round.
Yeah, but you love we don't have a Jet yet. That's
a lie. We have Bell.
I forgot we had Levy. Good God, Le'Veon.
The player I like least on the team.
That's good. See, that's good news. He keeps saying stuff like that.
Well, you know, you quit on your team to go bowling. That annoys me. Like, obviously, I'm not rooting against his success, but like, if he has a bad year, it won't upset me.
I'm going to take Cole's Hole off the list. Come on.
What about Minshew Walk? He runs.
Who?
Minshew Walk. He runs.
Oh, yeah. Where is he?
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
Bottom of the...
Add him to the queue. If we don't get Haskins.
He's going to start.
Yeah, I actually think that he's a pretty good fantasy play this year.
Yeah. Better than Baker Mayfield.
I don't know about that. Because he also...
Better than Cam Newton.
I don't know about that either. He could be.
Better
he could be
than
like
Roethlisberger. He's better than a lot of guys.
Well, he's way better than Sam Darnold. We know that.
No, I don't think so.
So, would you like to? Let's work out some Sam Darnold bets then. Oh, we got someone auto picked, and now the pick got rolled back. So, would you like to bet me $100 each, Sam Darnold versus those guys we just mentioned?
Not all of them, but you can pick one.
Why not? You just said they're better than all of them.
Well, because anything, as you mentioned, anything could happen, and if Sam gets sick and hurt, then I'm down all kinds of bets. So it's about being
but
a
if
plus
Darnold
EV
is good,
wager.
if Darnold is good, like you said he's going to be, all of a sudden you're up a bunch of bucks.
I think he's going to be good, but listen, he got sick last year, and then he hurt his thumb, and he got hurt the year before,
and now he seems to be suffering from spinal problems.
Stop saying that.
Or man boob problems. I'm not sure.
By the way, that throw to Mims is a absolute dart.
So what you're saying is that a guy who's uncovered, thrown to by a professional NFL quarterback who is standing there by himself without pads in practice with no one rushing him can make a 40-yard throw? No shit, Tim.
Well, I think Mims will be by himself quite a bit this season. And with someone like Becton blocking, I think Sam's going to be by himself for quite a bit to throw.
It's pathetic stuff.
No, it's not.
Truly pathetic.
These are the things I tell myself every day.
Yeah, because you live your truth. We know this.
I don't think that's true.
Well, I mean, that's, again, you living your truth by not thinking it's true. Come on, Eisenberg. Figure it out. I'm reconnecting. Should probably jump into this Zoom call to figure out what's going on, shouldn't I?
Probably not the worst idea.
All right, I'm going to go check in.
Okay.
Play a lot of single player games. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thing for you is PlayStation, if you like.
Oh, they're talking
We're in
about,
the-
they're talking about fucking like PlayStation games on there or something like that. Just,
Well,
Pass.
as a Sony guy myself, I've got some opinions.
well, that's true. I mean, as people have found out through the show, as a big Sony guy like yourself, that you bought an obsolete gaming console.
It's not obsolete. It's the newest one on the market.
So you bought a PS4 5 months before PS5 comes out?
Well, I didn't know that.
But you're a big Sony guy, are you?
And I've been playing the golf club and getting pretty darn good at it.
Yeah, no one cares about that anymore. That was the beginning of the pandemic thing. Why are we
I don't
stopped?
care. I'm playing it for myself.
Oh, Jeff Radcliffe's projections cheat sheet. I don't want to give too much away here. I should probably close that. That's part if you
People
go to,
on
if you go
are
to
people going to be able to see what I'm seeing on the YouTube?
what?
If you know what I mean?
I didn't hear what you said. I was trying to
Like when this,
I was
vi- this
trying
video
to say something and you fucking cut me off.
when this video is produced, will they see what I'm seeing currently?
They'll see whatever the screen share is. Yes.
So they'll see your screen.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can get Radcliffe's overall projections, but I think these tools, like I said, these tools are free at ftnfantasy.com. And you just go under tools. If you use promo code Mayo over there, you can get yourself a discount on the goings on. Say if there's someone like air yards who like really popped last year: Sutton, Diggs, Thomas Brown, McLaurin, Hill, Mike Williams, your boy Robbie Anderson.
Yeah, it was no good according to you.
He's no longer on the same team, and now he's buried on the depth chart. He goes from being the 1 to the 4 potentially. Yeah, your anti James Washington takes.
And then Alshon Jeffrey, who wouldn't shake my hand, who I also don't like.
Yeah, he wouldn't shake your hand. And what did he do?
He had a decent Super Bowl.
Yeah, he caught 2 touchdowns, did he? I still don't
They're
know.
still
what's going-
paused.
Why are we paused?
Why are we paused?
All right, I'm going to go jump in and figure this out.
Yeah, okay. I'll take over the helm here.
It might be Oregon.
Are we coming back here soon or what?
Bend, Oregon. Might have been Bend, Oregon.
Jimmy was in the air, Pat.
Yeah, the pick was just made, Pat.
Pick and be on the air. I drafted this team from a fucking wedding before.
Sorry, man.
I made 3 picks from the air too.
So, yeah, I mean, I actually don't think these are the most important picks left now.
Love you too.
I think the ones you would have made the last couple of rounds are the big ones, but this is where you start to fill out your roster with guys who, yeah, maybe on a random bye week you might plug them in. That's sort of the way to play this at this point.
We took so apparently Jamie was on the air. He took Antonio Gandy Golden. People loving Washington this year. We took.
I was going to say the Washingtons. Every player who could be drafted has been drafted. Other than I don't know whether
we
their
don't-
tight end.
Well, we don't have Dwayne Haskins yet. We got to get Dwayne Haskins on our team. But we have Anthony McFarland now.
Well, that's good. Now I can go on and live my life in a particular way, knowing that we have him.
I was letting the people know who were listening to the audio version of this show. Just trying to help out. Justice Hill with the pick after us, and then Devonta Freeman, the pick after that.
Doesn't have a job.
No, but I can see teams, like we said, if we're going to take a shot on guys, I mean, unsigned guys, I think are pretty live here, to tell you the truth.
Did someone take AB?
No one has taken AB yet. He is out for the first 8 games, though.
So
We just don't need
we're
any
in
more.
the 16th round.
True, but we don't need any more. We have tons of receivers. We have the
Yeah,
best
that's-
receiving core.
That's fair.
We need running backs, or we need your boy, the Silver Spooner, maybe as a tight end here. Big Irv just went.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of his.
How would you say our team is looking?
I think it is, I don't know, second, third, fourth best. Like a team, it's definitely a team that can contend. I think a team with a lot.
How can you say that our team is second, third, fourth best when you literally have no idea what any other team looks like?
Well, I mean, I'm watching what other teams are drafting.
All right, so who is on Eric Young's team?
Justice Hill.
Okay. Continue.
And others.
Sounds like you got a pretty good grasp on what's going on.
You asked me how you thought our team looked, and I gave you an answer, and your answer was, how dare you answer the question I asked you?
Yeah, but you have no idea what you're talking about. I meant objectively looking at our team. Where do we go right? Where do we go wrong? Not comparing it to teams who you have no fucking idea who's on them.
Only thing I wouldn't have done is I would not have taken Murray when we did. I said it at the time. We could have taken another back or another pass catcher rather than him. That's the only mistake I think we made. Other than that, I think it's a solid up and down.
I just wonder how our team looks if we don't take Michael Thomas at number 5.
Or just don't take Kelsey.
Yeah, but
I got no regrets taking Michael Thomas. I would do that 100 times out of 100.
Yeah, but at that point, let's go back up to the top here and see what's going on. No, we can't even go all the way back to the top. All right, great. I know. I'm just trying to think. Like, if we take, let's say, Dalvin Cook at number 5, something like that, or we take Clyde, the Fresh Prince of Hilaire, and just take him at number 5. Then where that Kelsey pick is, like, I think all of the running backs that I liked were actually already off the board. Like, Drake was gone, Sanders was gone, like Devontae Adams had just gone, but. Like, I think, would you prefer to have someone like Cook and Adams or Thomas and whoever, like, rando running back is there? Like, Fournette was already gone at that point, too. So it would be like, I don't even know. Who was like, still available at that point?
Well, as someone who is, like, the most down on Adams of anybody you'll meet, I would take the other side.
Are you down on Adams? That makes no sense.
Wasn't on him last year either. I don't know. I think that offense has got problems, and I think Adams is vastly overrated.
I don't know about that. Let's look up.
Well, I do.
Do you? You think that Adams is vastly overrated?
Yeah, I can think of several wide receivers I'd rather have than him.
Well, let's see. It's a guy with a 28% market share. That's
lovely. I don't care.
Why do you not care about that?
I'd rather have Julio Jones anytime, any day of the week.
Well,
and I think anybody anyone who's sensible would pick the same.
Would you like to make a wager on that? Fantasy points this year?
Yeah, I would actually make a wager on that. You're giving me a former MVP QB and a better receiver versus a former MVP QB and a worse receiver.
How much would you like to wager on that, sir?
I don't know. $50?
No, let's go more than that.
Why, again, would you ask me what I wanted to wager? Then I answer it, and you're like, well, I don't like your answer.
Well, because I wanted to see what you wanted to throw out there. Because if you had said like 500, I would have been like, I'm in. But you probably wouldn't say 500. So I was going to see, we're testing the waters of where you're at. Let's go 150 on that one. Adams versus
No, 100.
Now let's go 200.
Not a dime more, or it doesn't happen. Sorry.
I'm sorry that you don't feel like you made a very good bet.
This is like when I watched $1 Million Listings.
You don't watch $1 Million Listings.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
Of course I do.
You don't.
I do, and I like the haggling parts.
You think that you're going to win this bet, and you're trying to haggle me down for the amount of the bet?
Because just because I think I'm going to win it doesn't mean I'm foolish enough to think it's guaranteed.
No.
Nothing in life is guaranteed. It's about reducing your risk.
Yeah.
Great. Our pick got backed out because we were fighting. Yeah, Haskins, sure.
Dwayne Haskins.
Every single Washington player has been drafted, other than I don't know who their tight end is this year.
I can look that up. I actually don't know who their tight end is this year either. Washington
football team.
NFL.
That's so asinine.
Washington football team. Maybe they'll just be the footballs.
I'll tell you who I hope their tight end isn't.
The sprinkler. Oh, and they also have Richard Rodgers. Former Aaron Rodgers creation. Richard Rodgers.
I thought you were going to make a Rodgers and Hammerstein joke.
No.
That's where I would have went.
This is why you're not a man of the people.
I am a man of the people. People even say good work. I got all kinds of thank yous yesterday on the Twitter.
For what?
For various picks that I was making. Movie recommendations that I put out.
So you were cursing things and people were like, thanks for cursing this person.
I recommended a movie to somebody yesterday and they said that was a great one, TC. Thanks.
What movie did you recommend?
The Sting.
That is a good. I mean, when you're going to talk about like one of the top 20 movies of all time and you recommend it, it's real ledge go out on there, Tim.
No, whatever. And I got to thank you for it. People thank me for my picks. I want the Chargers to do well for us in week 1, but I also don't want the Chargers to do well for us in week 1 because that would be much better for the show.
I don't know. It's not like the Jets. Like every time the Jets lose, it's hilarious. Like the Chargers need an ebb and flow for the show. Like Jeff needs to be built up or he gets too sad.
What if the Jets were really good for the show? Would that be good or bad for the show if we started out like 7-1? I
think that would be really good for the show. Like I think that the Jets work in extremes. That either if they were really good or really bad, I think that would be good. I think that would be like the optimal outcome for that.
Whereas you think the Chargers need to be like a up and down vector.
Yeah. So I have 2 picks queued up next. I'll take the Chargers D, then we'll take Herndon in the last round for you.
But not Javante Herndon.
No, I don't know who that is.
Well, neither do I. And he doesn't have a team.
I see that he's right there. Yeah, he's NA. Maybe he'll be a hot pickup. Oh, D.D. Westbrook. How the mighty have fallen. I took you in the 6th round last year.
Yeah, what a waste.
Well, didn't stop me from like winning titles, so I'm not too upset about it.
Yeah.
Turns out
like
you
are upset about it.
turns out you can make a bad 5th round pick or a 6th round pick, and it really doesn't matter.
You can make a bad first round pick for that matter.
That's tougher.
Well, yes, of course, but it can be done. It's like when I broke 100 after shooting 10 on the first hole. It can be done. It's just harder.
Again, you living your truth. Here's the story about that people need to know. That you got stuck in a bunker, and you took over 10 shots in the bunker on that hole. And we had to ask you what we could give you so you would stop crying and not quit the round.
That's not quite true.
How pathetic is that?
I said, give me whatever you want.
Yeah, and you were like crying on the course. You were threatening.
I was not
you
crying.
threatened to quit the round until
I
we gave
didn't
you a
threaten.
score that was like okay with you, because you really had like over a 20 on the hole.
I said, just give me whatever you think is fair.
So
and
we
I
gave
went on
you
to
a
the next
10 so you would calm down, and now you're talking about how you broke 100.
I did.
You didn't. I still enjoy that you said that you would strike out against me 10 of 20 times, but you would hit 1 of 20. You would get a hit 1 in 20 times in the major leagues.
So obviously 1 in 20 is too high.
Try 0 in 600.
I think I would.
If you made,
it's almost it's a mathematical
if you
impossibility.
were able to
that I would be
foul
fine.
a pitch off 1 of 20 times, just make contact with it. I would be
Which I
frankly
would,
stunned.
eventually.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Yes, eventually
You're
I
not
would.
facing a
I
fucking
would just
pitching machine.
seeing it.
All they would do is throw a ball at your head. They'd Joe Kelly on the first round. They'd be too terrified to step back in the box.
Oh, Kelly just lost control of that. He wasn't trying to throw at anybody.
Yeah. I like that you're just laughing off assault.
It wasn't assault. No one got hurt. No one got hit.
He's taking a ball and throwing it at someone's head. That's
Oh, well, he said it just slipped.
so we're just going to take his word for it.
I'm going to take his word for
I
it.
didn't realize that you were such pro-violence.
What I'm pro is cheaters getting comeuppance. And for them not to hit anybody and for a guy to be suspended more than players who cheated, I'm sorry if my heart doesn't break.
I just didn't realize you were pro-violence. I guess that's what we're going to do with you.
Not
Every time
pro-violence.
Every time you get a wrong pick on the show, I'm going to have someone come over to your house and punch you in the face. That's the equivalent.
It's not the equivalent. And I'm not going to have a jaw.
Yeah, fine. I mean, what if he hit him in the face with that ball? Would he have a jaw?
I don't think he was trying to hit him in the face with the ball.
Oh, really? You don't think he was trying to hit him
No,
in the face
really,
with the
I
ball?
don't think he was.
He
I
definitely
don't believe
was.
for a second that he was.
Definitely was.
Oh, I don't think that's true.
Tough guy who wasn't even, on the team?
Worst case scenario, he was trying to hit him in the ribs.
Hey, so he's trying to break someone's ribs.
Well, I don't know.
And
that
you're,
trying
and
to
you're
break
pro.
it.
So, but I don't know, throwing a ball 99 miles per hour at someone's ribs, you're not trying to break the ribs?
I don't know
What is
he
the
was trying
intended? Tell me, what is the intended outcome of doing that?
You know, there's a long history to baseball. It's the way it's always been done. It's the way the players want it to stay.
Yeah, they also didn't have black players in baseball. That was the way it was done. Then they changed that. Should we go back to that?
No,
too?
no, but the players want it to stay this way, that the players police themselves. And I am not a professional baseball player, and I'm not going to judge people for, again, you like to judge. I don't like to judge. I'm not going to judge them for deciding to try to mete out justice in the way they seem inclined.
So you're good with mob justice, is what you're saying.
I didn't say that.
That sounds like
I'm saying
that's
that
exactly what you're saying.
when the league chose not
Last
to
pick.
do anything.
Herndon.
Herndon.
All right. We did our draft.
Their team is good.
All right, so so our starting quarterback is Kyler Murray. Then we have Le'Veon Bell, Darius Don Geis, not great at running back. Kenny Golladay, Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry as our receivers. Travis Kelce as our tight end. Christian Kirk. We currently have Latavius Murray in the flex, but the rest of our receivers are Christian Kirk, Randall Cobb, Jerry Jeudy, Michael Pittman. We have Chris Herndon as a backup tight end. We have Dwayne Haskins Jr. as a backup quarterback. We have Anthony McFarlane, Damian Harris, Chase Edmonds, and Latavius Murray as our backup running back. So we need someone to get hurt so we can potentially have someone else to play. But right now, between Geis and Bell, Bell is going to be the starter. If Geis can be the starter, then just we'll have to figure out our bye week, I guess, and make a savvy pickup or two. But our flex spots are fine with all the receivers that we have.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it at all. I think we drafted a pretty darn good team.
And maybe Kyler Murray can be the number one quarterback when it comes.
Well, I hope so. We drafted him as high as we did. He should finish second or third at worst, right?
Yeah, I think that he could be the number one running back or number one quarterback this year.
Well, I hope you're right.
I mean, you know me, I'm always right. I'm the anti-you when it comes down to this. Anyway, I want to thank you for being on the line with me. This was fun.
It was fun. It's been a while since you and I have done a podcast.
I know. I don't think this made for a very good show, but fuck it.
Well, what else is new? Nothing that we do makes for a good show.
I disagree.
All
The award-winning Pat Mayo and the award-winning Pat Mayo experience would highly disagree with that.
Download, give 5 stars.
There you go.
And then we don't care if you listen, but download and 5 stars. Sorry.
Oh, wow. What's the other thing?
Yeah. Rate it 5 stars. You can leave a review as well on that. Remember to smash the like button. Give me your favorite sleeper for Fantasy Football 2020 in the comment section. If you hit the description of this video or podcast, you can find all of the Pat Mayo Experience draft guide. It's up there right now. And at FTN Fantasy, FTN Daily, FTNBets.com, if you use promo code Mayo to get access to their tools, you will get a discount off of that. So I highly recommend it. Good guys over there. Radcliffe and Brad Evans really running it out. They were good enough to join me in my top 200 show to break down the rankings. So I'm going to pay it back a little bit, and they gave us something for the viewers and listeners too. That will do it for me. I'm Pat Mayo. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!